Alright, so first and foremost, I'm gonna start off by saying Barakathon, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Akakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole few left, starting with the 144,000 Shalom. Alright, so we see as you can see, the title for this lesson is Wisdom and Knowledge Shall Be Thy Stability, right? And this lesson actually hit me in the spirit yesterday. We ended up having a game or whatnot, Lord willing, you know. And I'll make one more mention again about been transitioning over to the KOS SIGH&CRY page. Where I do live lessons, live sit downs, right? And I'm doing a screen record lesson today because the iPad is going through some malfunctions right now, but we'll get it fixed tomorrow, Lord willing. We'll be back to the live lessons. But the screen record lessons I will upload on this page, SIGH&CRY, and I will upload also on the KOS SIGH&CRY page. But well, let me get back to it. So the lesson came through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah as watching the elders' lesson. El Apostle Tabar, El Apostle Kabar, El Apostle Tahar, right? As I watching those lessons, and they was just going into how, how Trump, through the spirit, you can see with that reincarnation, man, he's narrow, man. You can see it, right? You can see, even going back into history, right? Going back to history, understanding, of the 12 seasons, how narrow was that one who was causing all that, that disruption, who was causing all that chaos to where the people was rebelling, right? And he eventually sent, Vespasian right down there to shut those things down before Vespasian later started becoming emperor, right? Around a year later, if I'm not mistaken, right? But around a few years later, right? But understanding, right? Understanding that history, right? And that goes into, the title lesson, wisdom and knowledge shall be thy stability. Because these things are given to us through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah, right? A few quick precepts real fast. First one, I'm going to go to 1 Corinthians 2 and verse 10, right? And it says, but Yahweh hath revealed them unto us by his spirit, right? They were kakadash, right? For the spirit searches all things, that the deep things of Yahweh. And the deep things of Yahweh is only given to his elect. Amos 37. Only the elect will be able to understand the deep things and being brought back to the remembrance of the true oracles, the true knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Also the true history, right? Not the one that Esau tried to profess, not what Esau tried to hide or whatnot. The true history, the truth, the 100% truth, right? So this is another precept real fast, John 14 in verse 26, right? It says, but the Comforter, right, the Kakadash, right, which is the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you, right? And I know I tried to search it up, right, what was going on with Trump. How Trump been I want to say he sent his let me see. I want to say Trump saying, there it is. It comes up right when I see it, right? Trump authorized National Guard deployment to Chicago, right? And when you understand it, right? When you understand, right? He made that mention. If I'm not mistaken, Trump had mentioned like his next step. After he came with the immigrants, which those immigrants are, he just coming at who, right? The 12 tribes, right? The so-called Mexicans, the so-called Haitians. He coming at the tribes of Israel, right? And now he's coming at Chicago, where that's what we put in that. He coming to the quote unquote the hoods, what they call it, right? He coming to the hoods to where the black people, majority of Jake is, right? And this is that disruption. This is the same thing that Nero was doing back then, causing that that disruption was really led to people rebellion, right? It was led to Vespasian going over there shutting down. He becoming emperor, and his son Titus Domitian later finished it off with the siege of Jerusalem. But the point is how wisdom and knowledge is to build in our time, because these things already happened before. And we know people try to forget the things of the past. They try to erase the things of the past because, they don't want to be held accountable for the things of their wrongdoings or whatnot, but they're going to be held accountable. But for Jake, you got to understand that there's nothing new under the sun, right? This is Ecclesiastes 1 and 9 and 10 says, the thing that hath been, and it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there's no new thing under the sun. He says, there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It has already been of old time, which was before us, right? This has already been of old time. These things are already took place history before, and it's the same thing going on now, right? That's what Elder Apostle Gabar was going into, right? It's that same thing coming on now, with them coming fierce, them coming hard, which later led to them sieging Jerusalem, right? They're not going to necessarily try to take our homeland from us, but they're trying to take our birth right now. Now they're trying to not, to get to Jerusalem, to take down Jerusalem back then, right? Was powerful, right? We the chosen city of Yahweh Shah, which were the chosen people were as well, who are the Hebrew Israelites, right? They knew they had to sack the temple, right? Because Jerusalem was heavily guarded. Jerusalem had riches, right? In order, when you go into it, matter of fact, I like to bring this fact out, right? Because as I was studying, watching the video, going into the Romans with the golden candle at the siege of Jerusalem, how you say it in Hebrew, right? Right? See this, right? They're coming out with the golden candle, men of riches, and I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, this is how they built the Roman Colosseum off the bat. So what they took from the Colosseum, it's like from the temple, right? But in order to take down Jerusalem, they had to sack the temple, which shows you, right, what they're trying to do today. They trying to take Israel down again, but in order to take Israel down, they're going to come at the temple. Who's the temple? The elect of Yahweh Shah, right? With that spiritual temple that's being built up, right? Yeah, they're going to come hard on Jacob's trouble, right? That's been set. But it's going to be fierce for those ones who fear the Lord, because Jacob's trouble, Jake going to give in, Jake going to quit, Jake going to fold, right? Because these are things that, we've been telling you over and over. That's what Elder Apostle Harvey is going into as well. We've been telling you Jeremiah 37, Jacob's trouble is coming. Not Ephraim, not Manasseh, not this one tribe. It's the time of Jacob's trouble, where all the nation of Israel is going to go through fierce, harsh, it's going to be fierce, harsh, it's going to be a crazy time, right? I can think of the word. It's going to be a crazy time for Israel. It's going to be very harsh. It's going to be very fierce. It's going to be very pitiful. It's going to be scary for most, right? Because Esau's going to come through on. Esau's not coming through sparing none, right? He said, be like madman sparing none, really paraphrasing, right? It's going to come through on that, right? But these are the things that, the Spirit, the Rakakadash, the Holy Spirit, have brought unto us to understand. So therefore, in this time of chaos, we can stand firm. Stability, right? We can stand firm. We don't have to be out here tipping over, falling left and right. Because you got to understand, this narrow passage is very small. Only one person can go at a time. Remember, there stands on the left, stands on the right. So you don't have time to slip and fall. You don't have time to fall to the left. You don't have time to fall to the right. Or you're going to be grabbed up. Remember, the scriptures say, the devil's walking around like a lion lurking to see who he can devour, really paraphrase, right? You got to be on point, right? And being on point is having this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? That's why you got to understand, matter of fact, Lord willing, right? Before I get into that, I'm going to bring out Ephesians real fast, but I'm going to read this right here, Ecclesiastes 3, right? I'll get straight to the point. Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 15, right? This is precept. It says, that which has been is now, and that which is to be has already been. However, thing was in the past. So the things that already happened, the things that happened before, ain't nothing new on the sun. These things already happened, right? There's nothing new on the sun. Once again, read again, that which has been is now, right? Hey, Jacob's trouble, right? Them coming at the Romans coming at. Remember, this is the revival Empire Day. The Romans coming on to Jake hard, trying coming on to the nation hard. What are they doing now, right? What's going on? What's going on with Jake now? Is those Edomites still not coming hard on Jake, right? And that which is has already been. And Yahweh requires, right, that which is past. And Israel be trying to forget. It's like it. And the Edomites be trying to forget the things of the past. Or they try to rewrite history, try to lie about history, and whatnot. But everything's gonna be brought to light. They're gonna be judged for everything they've done. Right? But going to the point what I was saying earlier, Ephesians 4, that's why having this faith is a gift, man. As I was talking about, having knowledge, understanding, not also we go through things back then, we go through things now, but that what gives us that faith to stand firm, to stand strong, right? That's what gives us that, the faith is what allows us to stand strong. This is Ephesians 4. Matter of fact, I think it's Ephesians 2 in verse 8. It says, for by grace you are saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of your house. So this faith we have is a gift, because most people don't got it. Most people can't understand the knowledge and understand how about Yahusha. That's why you think Jake's so lost out here, right? And Esau not even showing half of how he really coming. He really finna come crazy. He really finna come through on one slaughter and killing. It's finna be what's that precept? Dang, we forget. When I want a precept, it always slip my mind. Lord, we're gonna come to me. Lord, we're gonna come to me, dang. Right? Trying to think of how it go. You really just understand that Esau gonna come through on one, right? I know Revelation 12 and 28, the devil come with great wrath, but it's another one I want to go to, dang, it's starting to slip my mind. Bear with me. Try to think of it. Let's see if we can do it like this. Bear with me. But Esau's going to come through on one, man. Right? Esau's going to come through on one. And I'm going to just try real fast. See if I can find this precept. See if I can find it. Like I'll type it through my notes. But yeah, man, Esau's going to come through on one. They're not going to spare now. They're not going to be looking for. They're not going to show no pity, right? Let's see. Let's see. Bear with me. Yep, here it is. Right, it can't. Sorry, how about you? Here it is right here, right? It says, "O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, the staff in their hand is my indignation." Because why? The Most High is going to send them. The Most High is going to send them. Right? This what is that? Psalm 17. But the David was talking about how hide me from the people which are thy sword. Because you got to understand, Esau, everything Esau doing, the Most High is allowing them to do that. There ain't nothing going on with the Most High don't allow. Right? A fig drop to the ground. What is it? A fig drop to the ground. The Lord not caused it. Really paraphrasing. Right? Can't nothing happen without the Most High doing it. So Esau coming through Owen is going to be the Most High allowing them to do that. Right? I got it right in my notes. Right? The Most High controls them that sin upon us is punished for not listening to the law. Right? It says, "I will send him against a hypocritical nation," which is talking about Israel. Right? Because Jacob is very hypocritical. In Jeremiah 2, that talks about how we go into these captivities, right? Then we call on the name of Yahushua, right? And then when the Most High deliver us, right? We be in there, say, when we call His name, we be like, "Hey, we ain't gonna sin no more. Please save us." Then the Most High delivers, right? And what we do as soon as we get delivered? Go right back doing the same thing. Hypocritical, man. Right? He said, "I will send him against a hypocritical nation, against the people of my wrath. Will I give him charge to take spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the middle of the streets." Because Esau going to come through on one. Esau is going to come through fierce. He's going to come through on one, man. And because the Most High is going to allow it. The Most High is going to put the spirit on them to get that done, right? And the ones he's going to slaughter is what? He's going to slaughter those ones. He's going to come call hard on the ones who fear Yahushua. But it's also going to be bad for those 2/3. A lot of 2/3 going to give in. A lot of 2/3 going to switch up. A lot of sincere men in this truth who are teaching this truth. Now a lot of men in this truth going to quit. A lot of men in the truth gonna give in, right? They're gonna confound the Esau ways, you know, and try to find the easy way out. You're not gonna be able to go through that trial. You're not gonna be able to withstand, right? They ain't gonna be able to keep that faith. That's why I understand this faith is a gift, right? We show our faith through our works. We stand strong. We stand firm. But that's why you gotta understand. We stand firm by what? Having this wisdom, knowledge, understanding that Yahweh Shah has already told us these things we're gonna prepare. It's like these things that we're gonna face, so we need to prepare ourselves. That's why we're preparing ourselves spiritually. We can't go against Esau carnally. We can't try to fight against Esau. You won't be able to. The Most High is going to send them, as we read right here, O Assyrian, the rod of my anger. The staff in their hand is mine indignation. The things that they're doing is what is the Most High's anger. Righteous anger is indignation, righteous anger. The Most High sent them, so you're not going to, the Most High put them in the position that they're in, so you're not going to be able to come against them physically. You got to stay strong physically, spiritually, because Yahweh Shah is going to handle that physical part for us. You know, we got to prepare ourselves spiritually for this battle. That's why I said we battle against spiritual wickedness in high places, man. Right? You know that what a precept I wanted to go to, right? Romans 15 and verse 4, right? It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning," right? All the history of the Romans, the 12 emperors, those things are written for our learning. That's why you have to know these things, because in these times, you see things start unfold. You see things happen. These are signs. These are wonders. These are things that's showing you to prepare you. Right? The Most High is giving you signs and wonders just for you to prepare yourself to get ready. Because all things are going to come to pass. Right? The prophecies, all these things are going to happen. You're not going to skip over. You're not going to be able to just you're not going to be able to get through this if you don't have Yahweh Shem on your side. Right? If Most High is for us, who can be against us? Right? It says that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Let's go read what hope is. Right? It's Hebrews 11 and verse 1. It says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Right? We have faith, understanding that when these things happen, Yahweh Shem is going to deliver us. When these things are going on, when we have days without eating, when we have, months without eating, we running through the wilderness, all that whatnot, we understand that Yahweh Shem is going to provide shelter for us. Yahweh Shem is going to provide water for us. Yahweh Shem is going to send a deer across the guard, food for us. Right? We end up sending food right across for a deer running right by us. Whatnot, right? We have faith and understanding that these, Yahweh Shem is going to provide these things for us, because wisdom and knowledge is the stability of our times, which we're going to read Isaiah 33:6. Because we understand through spirit and power of Yahweh Shem that these things were meant to happen. These things were going to happen, right? That's why I jumped down to verse 6. That's why it says this, Hebrews 11:6. "But without faith it is impossible to please him. But he that comes to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is the rewarder of them that diligently seek him." Right? That's why you got to study day. That's why the scripture says study day in, day out. Because when these times hit, and the famine of the word hit, things like that, you want to be prepared spiritually. Right? Once again, Ephesians 6:12. This is not a carnal fight. Our weapons are not carnal. Right? This is a spiritual battle that you got to be ready to face spiritually. Right? And not just no little thing. No, this is going to be physical. This that test. That's why Most High said this should be tried as gold is tried. Because when gold go through the fire, guess what? It still comes out with this. It still comes out with this. It still comes out as gold. It still comes out with the same value, right? So when we go through that fire, we go through that trial, we go through Jacob's trouble, we go through these things, we still need to come out with our same value in the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Not in the sight of men, right? In the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? So let's see. Got another quick precept, Lord willing. Right, it's Isaiah 33:6, right? It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." Right? So we understand it, right? Read it again, Isaiah 33:6. "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times." For us to be stable, for us to stand firm, for us to be ready to fight for the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, his wisdom and knowledge is going to be the wisdom, because his wisdom and knowledge this is our sword. This is our sword. This is our gun. This is what we fighting with. Right? He said, "And wisdom knowledge shall be the stability of our times and strength of salvation." Because this is going to be what leading us to that salvation, keeping that faith in his word, his truth, keeping that faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? And the fear of the Lord is his treasure. Because when you understand his judgment, right? That's what it is. Proverbs 2, right? I started verse 4. It says, "If thou seekest her," talking about to understand his knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, "if thou seekest her as silver and searching for her as a hid treasure, then thou shalt understand the fear of the Lord Yahweh and find the knowledge of power." Right? So when you understand the knowledge and understanding, you get this wisdom and understanding, you understand the fear of Yahweh Shah. And fear is the beginning of knowledge and understanding. And jump down, right? So when you understand fear, right, that's what it says, right? It says, let's see, right? Matter of fact, I just continue to read down, right? It says, for the Lord giveth wisdom, for the Lord Yahweh giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. He keepeth the path of judgment and preserveth the way of his saints, right? He says, then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment, right? Because you understand Yahweh Shem shall do good and evil. So you understand the only reason Esau is in his seat is because the Most High put him there. But eventually, we're going to be put in our righteous seat. Eventually, we're going to be put right back in the place we're supposed to be. But we got to go through this judge. We got to go through this stamp. We got to go through this suffering first. Because for our wrongdoings, then the Most High judges are righteous, man. Right? We ain't going through this for no reason. Right? Because we put ourselves in this position, so we got to face it, right? Understanding how Bashin Shah will deliver us from it. But in order for you to understand that, you got to understand the wisdom knowledge of how Bashin Shah. In order for you to get that, you got to fear how Bashin Shah. You got to know his power. They don't really fear him, man. All they talk about is the good. They don't really think nothing bad can happen to him. Oh, God, I want to do that. God. Nah, man, you got to understand fear. When you fear Yahweh Shah, you understand his power. It's called respectful fear. You understand his power, man. You understand the righteousness. You understand judgment and equity. Yeah, every good path, man. Right? You understand it all, man. Right? And as I was saying, right, we don't have to fight. We don't have to do that because why? This truth is knowledge understanding. It cut deep, right? This Hebrews 4:12 says, for the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of joints and marrow, and of discerner of thoughts and intents of the heart. This truth cut them deep. That's why Esau was trying their best to stop this truth. They're trying their best to get these sellouts to come up with different names. Most High, Christ, bless, all type of things. Trying their best to knock this truth from going out. That's why they're going to come so hard on Jake. Right there, they come so hard on Jake because they want to cut Jake off. They want to cut Jake off because once Jake receives this word, receives this knowledge, understanding. Once Jake hear it, and that 144,000 receive it, hey, it's rouse. See, they know our birthright. They want to try to steal our birthright, and they think that they can get rid of us. The birthright is forfeited to them, right? But they can't, man. They ain't gonna be able to knock the elect. They ain't gonna be able to come against it. Why? Because the elect is standing firm. Because we have this word, this truth. This is our sword. This is what we're battling with. This is what we read. We got the shield of faith, right? And we got the sword, which is this truth, this knowledge, this understanding, man. Right? So once again, you know, wisdom, knowledge, and stability, man. Right? Wisdom, knowledge, and stability, right? So that being said, Lord willing, hope the blessings edifying and exalting. Right? And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole free last starting with the 144,000. Shalom.